Jackie.
Hi, Eric.
I caught you mid gulp.
I know.
Let me see your cup.
Giant coffee. I know, it's so big.
It's like a huge Captain America cup.
My Gmail got us this for Christmas.
You know,
it's such a good mug.
I have a bottle of water. By the way, here's my my Blizzard my backstage Blizzard bottle I snagged from being backstage.
I love
at
it.
BlizzCon.
Oh, I didn't snag anything backstage. Oh, what was wrong? Well, that's not true. Somebody in my group, one of the production team, they snagged some sweets and Red Bulls from the executive suite. So we got that. We didn't need the souvenirs.
Anyway, seeing your coffee cup makes me realize, I should have made a cup of coffee before we started. But
I know.
I'll suffer with water. I'll suffer with water.
I'm wearing a Cloud9.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
It's to rep the launch of the Overwatch League today, but Cloud9, my friend Adam was actually the team captain on Cloud9, and then Cloud9 obviously went to London when all the teams moved around, so I think you're all Koreans right now, actually, on the London team, so I'm just wearing it because it's the only one I have, but I need to swap to an American team. No offense to the London and the Koreans, that's fine. You guys rock, good luck, but, you know. And
I also see you repping your little Wagner pin, too.
Oh yeah, dude, Wagner pin. I've sent a couple of these out.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen one in person yet.
Oh my gosh! And you know what's funny? You're on my list.
I know. I know.
What is wrong with me? I don't even understand it. I have this little I write everybody's addresses and like names and like the days that I know why. I print labels out on my printer and I only printed like the one page that had 8, I think, total, and then I just did those and then didn't add any more.
I still have a really awesome Farrah pin for you that was given to me to give to you by the Egg Sisters, and I'm holding a hostage until I get a Wagner pin.
Well, you're going to get one, I promise. I sent Chad out his. He made it on the list.
I know. I was like, Chad gets his before me?
That's why I added Eric. My friend Hector, he sends me stuff, and I have a bunch of stuff to send to him, and it's like, I had a T-shirt made, like, 2 years ago for him, and somewhere it's just ended up in storage with a stack of Jackie Craft T-shirts I got for my family, and I couldn't find it over the holidays, so it's just like waiting to send these things out.
I want a Jackie Craft T-shirt.
I'm getting some more printed with I want to get a couple Crafting Geeks and stuff just to give out to people.
Yeah, we definitely need to do Crafting Geek T-shirts.
Yeah, I want some. I had some stickers made with my little Braveheart line I've been sending out with. Like whenever people purchase stuff off the store, I throw a sticker in and stuff too. Yeah. So.
Oh, speaking of T-shirts, last episode we had Vert Vixen on, and she has T-shirts now too. So I have a Vert Vixen coming my way. I can't wait to wear it on the podcast.
I need to get some more T-shirts. Yeah.
So if you guys want to support Vert Vixen in that way, go buy one of her shirts. So shout out to her because she's awesome. Yeah.
She has
and her video series is being pretty cool too. So there you go.
It is. Yeah.
So what's going on with you?
Oh, well, so speaking of new things, so I launched a Patreon. It's on my Facebook, my Instagram. It's just Patreon Jackie Craft, I think. So it's called. I don't really know the name of it. It's basically like a platform for me to do like a little exclusive community kind of thing. I don't know. I find it really hard to have like a direct communication with people. And I feel like Patreon's a really good platform for me to do content fueled specifically towards a group of people. They get to vote on what they want. They get patterns tailored to the things they vote for. So I don't know. I wanted to curate my own little like crafting community, and I felt like Patreon was a cool platform to do it. And I'm still going to be doing things normally like I do online. So I just wanted to get into video making a little bit more. And as everybody knows, it takes a lot of time, it takes away from other projects. And so it's a cool way for people to support you if they want to. But obviously I'll still be around no matter what. So I just wanted to, I don't know. I really like the pattern making aspect of things and like doing tutorials and walkthroughs for my patterns, and Patreon members will get that kind of stuff first. And then I'm also doing exclusive hangouts, which will be kind of cool, where I just kind of walk through what I'm working on and people get the opportunity to ask me questions. So, that's
cool. And that and I get that because it's like, especially the way, social media, because all of us that have any kind of, I guess, name out there or whatever, however you want to say it, that kind of happened because it was so easy to share things on social media. And then,
it's getting gated.
And then the past couple of years, everybody's especially Facebook. I basically gave up on my Facebook page.
It's a bummer because I get a lot of pattern sales from Facebook, but almost every time I post something, it's like, is this an ad?
Yeah.
it'll ask me that question. I'm like, no, it's not an ad. I'm literally posting you my dog getting chased by a robot. I just happen to tag the company because as a maker, we tag the company so you guys know where we got the stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
they're not paying us to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer that Facebook will heavily throttle that. And so Patreon's something where if somebody, even if it's $1, you're going to get access to every single thing listed. I feel like it's hard to do a complete write-up of every single product you use, why you used it, because, it gets blocked on Facebook or Instagram, you're limited amount of characters too. So it's like, it's a cool community to curate. And I don't know, I hope it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't change my opinion of anybody that follows me. It's just something that helps me out if it suits somebody. So,
Well, that's cool.
That's what I'm doing.
It's cool that you're, branching out and having more avenues to connect with people. Because another thing that I've seen a lot of people do now too is, create like the Facebook groups. So like Evil Ted, Punish Props has had the prop tarts for a couple years, but now Evil Ted has his Foam Fanatics, and the Egg Sisters just started their
Wood Whisperer community. That's
their
like
Facebook groups. And so, so you have all these groups, which is pretty cool, I think, but the problem is I end up
add another group.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I've been thinking about that too, because I want people to see what I'm doing. I don't want it to get throttled by social media. But I don't really have any other way to.
Like, I like to be able to talk to people directly. Like Jace, there's one of my patrons, Jace, has messaged me throughout their entire build, and I'm able to just have that one-on-one contact.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's like, because I'm new to Patreon and I don't have a lot of people there. It's like I instantly see their message. I instantly see their reaction. I get to ask them what kind of patterns they want. Like I bought a kids mannequin. I'm going to be doing kids patterns, and I'm like, what do you guys want? And they happen to have 4 kids, and so I get really good input from these people. And it's honestly like, I don't know. It's just a cool way for them to. It's crazy to think that somebody pays you to help you to do something, but I guess it's support, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about. But
I guess I see it as like they find what you're doing valuable, so they're willing to put a little money behind it, and that's really sad because when I first started out on Facebook, 4 or 5 years ago, it was really interactive for me.
Yeah, I know.
I would post something and I have like 30 to 60 people comment and or ask questions, and I was like, this is great. And then I hit like, I don't know, it was right around the 5,000 like. It
was 2012. Moment. It was the year they did that big thing.
Yeah,
the big change with how it worked.
And as soon as I hit 5,000 likes on my Facebook page, it was just like nothing. It was like I would post really something and it would be like chirp.
And it's crazy because it's like it's so weird, the things that I don't know. It's just so interesting. It's an interesting dynamic, but I don't know what the right thing to do is. But I just want to. I'm really into pattern making. I would like to. The cool thing about Patreon is it gives me a platform where if nobody else signs up, but like one person for 2 months, and they happen to sign up for the tier that's like a custom pattern, you pay 2 months to have somebody curate you a custom set of patterns.
Yeah,
that's a cool service in my opinion. I wanted my Patreon to be something that was really rewarding, and I felt like curating patterns for whatever you're working on at a certain tier level, or getting to vote and then getting my pattern first and then getting a guide for it. I felt like that. I don't know. I wanted to launch something that was beneficial and rewarding, and not just, hey, give me money.
Yeah. Well, well, that's the thing, and I think that's something
we've talked about that and how it's like it can be a little like, ugh. Yeah. I don't know.
The whole point is that you need to be able to provide something to people.
Yeah. I want it to be a service, a craft community service that's like super beneficial. And I don't know, I'm really excited about all the things I'm working on for it. I think it's going well. But and then I have my Etsy store, which I launched finally because Etsy has automatic delivery of patterns, and I've been using Store Envy. And unless you're grandfathered in with the old Store Envy delivery system, if brand new stores at Store Envy don't have automatic PDF delivery. So
that means that like when somebody orders, they get
I have to manually send it out.
Like an email or whatever?
Yes, and it got... Thank you guys, and some of you are podcast listeners, and I'll get comments like, "I love you on the podcast. I love you and Eric. Thank you guys so much for ordering." And I'm sorry if you ordered at 6 in the morning, you didn't get it till 10 in the morning.
That seems like that seems really crazy. Stupid. I mean, why would you?
Yeah. I was so bummed out when I found out because like Kamui, her patterns are on there, but she's grandfathered into the old digital delivery service, and they do they
charge you more or something to do that, or? Is it like a tier?
No, they don't even offer it anymore. They cut partnership with that company.
That's weird because
so I know, because I would have paid because it was so much, and then I didn't do Etsy because I had already set up Store MV, and Etsy had has different fees, but I put everything on Etsy anyway just because it's digital delivery, and I don't want anybody to have to wait because
well, there's nothing worse than like
when you want it.
Well, I mean, there are things worse, but it's really annoying when you're like, hey, it's digital, I can just get this right away, and you're like, okay, where's that email? Where's that email?
Exactly. And I get international orders, and it's like they may not get it till they wake up the next morning. I'm like, that's a bummer.
Yeah, right.
I definitely Anyways, so that's a fun thing. And then also I did my giveaway, which I forgot to mention when we podcasted right before the holidays. But luckily, I had a lot of sign up for that, and that was really fun to do. I don't know, I just had a great time like sending out makeup. I love makeup.
Have you sent those out yet?
Yeah, they all have them. They all tagged me and sent pictures back.
All right, I just want to make sure that you sent them their stuff that you promised them.
Oh my gosh, I just got the funniest email. Yes, no, of course, I promised them. Yeah, shut up. Just because you get your pin doesn't mean everybody else doesn't get their stuff. So they it was really cool. I sent like extra goodies into like some Espionage Cosmetics nail wraps and eyelashes. I just like put lots of fun little goodies, like extras in there. I don't know. It was just I had so many people sign up, and it was really cool to just see all the support and all the interest. And I really enjoyed giving back, and hopefully I'll get to do some more things like that.
Did you see my Christmas giveaway?
I did. Yeah. Oh, did you already pull a winner? Yeah,
I did on the 31st. So, yeah. Oh. Guy named Wayne Backen won. I think he's a prop tart, if I remember right.
That's cool.
Anyway, yeah. So for those that maybe didn't see it, I did a 3D print of this really cool nutcracker.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a really cool model because the guy that designed it, he goes by Big Biglil design on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I just ran across him because of just looking at 3D printing stuff. And like he does really cool like low poly designs of things. And so that nutcracker is like low poly. And it's like low poly is perfect for finishing because it has flat edges.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so I'm like, hey, I can print this and probably clean it up pretty easily. And it was pretty easy to clean up because it's all flat edges because it's low poly. So it has, shapes that aren't really organic. And then I was like, I want to do this like in a nerdy way. And then so I decided that it would be fun to paint it like Thanos. So it's the Thanos.
Yeah, I love that too. That was like my favorite part.
And I made little gems for the glove. So which were actually resin cast.
Oh, I was wondering. That's crazy.
I made one. I was like, okay, I could probably just make these all by hand. And I just cut it out of Sentra. Right. Mm-hmm. With my X-Acto knife, but it was so tiny. It's like, there's no way I can like match this like 5 times. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I was casting some other stuff and on the back side, or I was making molds of some other stuff for Christmas presents. And on the back side of it, I just pushed the little gem I made into the back of it. So it's the teeniest little mold I've ever made. Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
Funny. It worked out though.
Yeah, it turned out really well, and people seemed to really like it. And it was a fun project.
I thought it was really cute.
And then I was like, I don't really need this, so I'm just going to give it away. So, and I hadn't done a giveaway in a while, and I'd like doing giveaways. So,
well, I cast a bunch of legs of my Widowmaker lamp, and I'm going to do a giveaway of those eventually. But it may not even be until like right before the holidays this year.
Yeah,
because it's like I made mine, and now I have all of the others that are just sitting. But it was fun to make a mold of it because I thought like this is a really cute giveaway thing because it was really quick and easy and people liked it a lot. And so Overwatch shared it. So then I got like all these requests. So I was like, this is a fun giveaway. So right before the holidays this year, actually probably even before BlizzCon. That's probably when I'll do it this year.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'll do a giveaway going up to BlizzCon, and that will be just like a couple of the little lamps. So
my leg lamp is sitting behind me. It's right there. Can you see it?
That's what reminded me. Mine are on the table here. I cast them out of onyx. They're all like shiny.
It's half finished.
Yeah, but it's still cute though.
Well, I started on it, and then I got sidetracked onto the Nutcracker, and then I never went back to the lamp.
That's my life. I have so many 3D printed things. Like it's more than I even talked about last time. And my CR10 actually. Well, okay, so Jill brought the CR10, and she has 2 Robo R1s, and she hates the CR10. Hates it. And it's too much like work for her. So she's like, you can have it. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna start doing upgrades to it. So the very first thing. Oh, you remember how a couple podcasts back, I'll try not to talk too much about 3D printing because I know that's been a lot lately. And I have so much other stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
But the 3D printing nerd, I knew exactly who he was. And then a few podcasts ago, you're like, oh, you don't know who he is? And I was like, I don't think so. I can't remember. I know exactly who he is. I just didn't know that was his channel name.
Oh,
I love
gotcha.
that guy. Like when he was on Bill's show, I actually asked him a question about the
Joel.
Bowden extruder. Yeah, love that guy.
Yeah, Joel's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like,
and he's agreed to be on the show sometime. So
I can't wait to have him because well, then I'll save a lot of 3D print stuff for that because there's so many crazy things. But I will say I did have an issue with right from the factory. My CR10 did not have two little screws that put the hot end into the cooling thing. So it started shifting. Twisting.
Put the hot end into the cooling. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
No, yeah.
So they're notorious for, they're kind of notorious for missing things at the factory. Well,
I realized, I was like,
I mean, they just crank those things out. So
yeah. And so it would work one day. It had started to like work and stop, like one print. And I was just like, this is so inconsistent.
I can't believe it even worked without those two screws in there.
It would work.
I mean, there's a set screw, right? So that must have been the only thing that was holding.
That was. And so it was enough for it to like, it was just, I don't know. It like
That's
too
insane.
much. Yeah, it's insane. And so I took it all apart. I ordered a whole new thing yesterday. I actually watched his videos and I got the Micro Swiss hot end that he
did you?
got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to try that because I liked the reasons why he, like, for really that silicone little like insulating sock. I love that. That's just such a cool idea to me. That seems really neat and really good for cleaning and taking it apart as opposed to the padded insulation.
The padded, yeah.
Yeah. So, and for the overall cost of the printer, that one upgrade is worth it to me. So,
is it, are you in the same room with your printer?
No, the CR10 was in here because I was managing it, but it's back in the house because I can't keep the climate. It's been so cold.
Gotcha.
We had like 9 degrees and all these like really weird temperatures, and it's up and down so much in here that I put it back in the house up by the heater. Because
I was going to say one of my favorite upgrades, because I've done a ton of upgrades to mine, mostly inexpensive things. But one of my favorite is the dampeners on the XY motors.
I saw you were talking to somebody. I was reading the comments on one of your posts.
And they're like, you can get them on Prime for like $12. And
okay.
And they're, they take like 10 minutes to install. So
yeah. I'm printing
completely worth it. Completely worth it. So, and it quiets it down quite a bit. I also changed out all the fans in mine. That's a little more expensive to do.
Yeah.
But very worth it too. So to put some quieter fans.
Especially if you're printing PLA because PLA likes air.
Yeah. And there's because there's 3 fans in the control box and they're all pretty dang loud. So.
Yeah. So that's the thing. But the CR10's been it's been a little bit of a struggle just because inheriting someone else's CR10 is not the same as like inheriting someone else's Taz or Ultimaker.
Yeah. The CR10 is a great printer, but it definitely requires.
It's better to have it in the beginning and set it all up and get to know it, because I basically have had to get to know it all after it was already assembled.
In reverse.
In reverse, yeah. And like the bed, I could tell the glass bed in the center is slowly starting to sag, and that's a side effect. So eventually I'd also like to upgrade the bed. Because
they're also notorious for coming with warped glass plates.
Yeah. The internet, it's crazy.
So the majority of people have ditched I fortunately got one that is, it's maybe just a tad bit warped, but it's so close that it doesn't make a difference as far as I can tell.
Good enough that it can like live. Yeah. I could probably get, like 20, 30 more prints out of it. A lot of guys have switched to using,
mirrors as the build surface. So.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, an IKEA mirror. I saw like a swap.
Yeah, there's an IKEA mirror that's like the perfect shape, the perfect size. So,
a friend at Blizzard just texted me, "Cosplayers are magicians." That's all they said. Well,
yes.
So everybody listening, someone at Blizzard thinks you're all magicians. That's a hilarious text. That's so funny. I'm gonna message her back. Like, I want you to know that I just told the world what you said. It's so funny. Her name's Jacqueline also, which is really cute.
Do I know her, Jacqueline?
Yes, maybe. You did meet her because she was like my first boss for the production.
Oh yeah, I met her.
Yeah, she had like the cute pixie haircut. She's so sweet. Yeah, and you'll see her again. So anyways, so projects that we've been working on, me and Eric have both been doing like little side projects other than just like tons of 3D printed things, which I showed him. Obviously my little one thing is my underlight angler. So if you watch this, you'll see I 3D printed my shopmate Jill's underlight angler little prop thing, and it's been a pain in the butt because the structural integrity of it was really weak, and I got a carbon fiber tube inset through here and a threaded rod back through it through the shaft. And I'm going to post that on social media too, so you'll see it.
Yeah,
and
doing handles and segments is tough.
Doing in 3D printed parts, because it's like when you build something yourself, and I know that people will disagree with this. They'll be like, well, you can make anything strong 3D printed. Yeah, I know that, but I'm new. So like, here's the problems I'm encountering. What I'm encountering is when I make something myself, I can like make it strong to death because I start from the inside out. When it's 3D printed, I'm working with whatever the modeler has created in the inside if I haven't done it myself. Yeah. And I have to like adjust to that. And so like with Jill, I'm getting to the point with like being shop mates, I can tell her, hey, I'd like to be able to fit this threaded rod through this. Could you, because
can you build that into it?
Yeah. Because I don't, I structural integrity is important to all of us. So that's definitely a thing that's been weird. And did I talk about, I don't know if I talked about last time, but one thing that has been my holy grail with putting together kits in 3D printing are the little hex screws and the little, I talked about it with Vert Vixen, the things that I like heat sink down into the plastic and then.
Oh yeah. And then you can use them as like a plug to.
Yeah, that's been really good.
To connect together.
Yeah.
Where do you get those?
On Amazon.
I forgot
and
about those. And you know
what's crazy? Our friend Steven Solo Roboto, I was watching him stream the other day and he had them.
Did he? Was he using them?
They were like off to the side. What is that box?
What are those called? What do you know what they call them?
Yeah. So these are called cap screw nuts assortment kit. And so like there's an M4 series. I got these because they match this, which was the important part. These are zinc plated carbon steel rivet nuts. Rivet nuts.
Okay. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, so they were, and nuts. The cool thing about these little guys, and they work on like, you don't have to just put them in 3D print kits.
Yeah, they work on other things.
And then on AliExpress, I found these little guys, which are, instead of having a screw cap on one end, these are just screw thingies that have, that are just threaded on both ends.
Yeah, they're they're like a little tiny all thread, basically.
I had really nice nails until about 4 days ago, and I cut them all off because I've been sanding, and I'm devastated because they were so pretty.
I'm sorry.
Sure like, prop makers really care about that.
Yeah.
But those things are super handy, and it's just like hardware has been a thing that I
feel like I would do well in your shop. It seems like you're well stocked.
You would have such a fun. I invite you to just come stay for a week. I'll put you in the guest house upstairs, and like you could just fiddle. There is so much stuff. We also just got a vacuum chamber and a pressure pot, as well as a sandblasting cabinet.
Oh yeah, vacuum changer and pressure pots change your game. Yeah, now tell me about the Sandblaster. What's your plan with that?
So I went down the rabbit hole of sandblasting after coming across an Instructable that the guy said how to clean up 3D prints, and it was sandblasting cabinet. And people have their own methods, right?
Yeah, everybody's got a favorite way of doing print.
But I watched a ton of videos, and every cabinet, and I also posted in the Wood Whisperer community, and this guy gave me the best insight ever. I mean, this person just took like an hour out of his day and wrote up every single thing that I could possibly think of, like leaks in the cabinet. There's problems with lights, so you're going to need lights on the top because you can't really see well into a cabinet. Well, the type of media to use, having a the foot. So if you guys have a Fordham, you have like a little sewing pedal for this guy also installed that. He ran his air because it needs compressing, an air compressor hooked up to the cabinet for the gun. He ran it through copper wires to change the temperature of it or something.
I don't know anything about. I don't zero.
Right, so I didn't either, and so I was determined that I needed a better way to finish prints. I'm getting pretty fast with my little like rotary tool system, works really well, but I wanted the world's fastest way. I was like, I can't live like this. Like I want to just hold it and just blast it. I will roll it across the beach. So I ordered $140 Nesco Tools benchtop blast cabinet because I did not want a standalone large unit. I don't have the shop space for it. I don't want to give the shop space up for it. That's the main reason.
So is that like how big is that roughly?
It's actually in the lobby. I wish I'd have brought it out here and put it up. It's white. It's this big bench top thing. And after reading a lot online, it looks like walnut shells will be a really great medium for PLA. It's super cheap, so that's amazing. You don't need like crazy grits. You're not going to need like the biggest misconception was that people were like well, I don't want to get a sandblasting cabinet if I have to buy really expensive medium. Well, if you're sandblasting 3D printed parts, you don't.
Yeah, because it's
soft.
It's soft material. You're not sandblasting like metals and stuff.
Sandblast plastic.
Yeah.
So we're actually, we're actually kind of like the cheaper side of sandblasting. So I was thinking, if I spend 2 hours sanding one small 3D printed thing, and I pay myself $2 an hour or $20 an hour, that's $40 to sand one part. I could do 10 parts in 30 minutes in the sandblasting cabinet with, $5 of medium, which is actually high. It's probably $1.50 of medium.
So if you do do people like sell crushed walnuts in or something, or do you have
tons of stores sell that's actually like a listed medium and it's like $23 for a giant bag.
Wow.
On Amazon of walnut medium. And then there's the acrylic medium, which we know acrylic's harder than PLA.
Yeah.
So that they use that to sand it too. And these results were so good. I watched so many videos before I bit the barrel, and I'm going to try it, and I think it's going to work. I really do. I think it's going to be a good shop upgrade for me. And I realize that obviously is like a strange thing to invest in if you're not doing a lot of sanding. I mean, I
don't know.
So many naysayers
I like the idea behind it. I never would have considered sandblasting for 3D prints. You know, it just sounds like too powerful or something. Do you know what I mean?
I thought that too. And then I saw that guy's post. Had I not seen the pictures and really started researching at first glance, I was like, no.
Yeah,
I don't need this. It's overkill. But the biggest thing is adding extra shells to your parts, which I already do anyway because I end up grinding it down myself. So it's like,
oh, gotcha. So like you overbuild the piece a little bit.
The inside and the outside, yeah.
Yeah. Because I could see how that would work. Yeah. Yeah, I'm my interest would be in like how well you can like maintain like detail and stuff.
Yeah. So I reprinted my Zenyatta orb, which actually is the best thing to use for this because the Zenyatta orb has such itty bitty, tiny, beautiful layers, like with the details on it. So I'm going to sandblast it. Let's see, because if that comes out good, that'll be a really good telling factor. Because obviously, like my spines and stuff, I'm 3D printing for Garona. For my Zach Fisher design, like I've been sanding these, and these don't have a lot of detail. They're just bone looking.
Yeah. And for something like that, I can see how sandblasting would work great on something.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm interested to try the really small detailed things. So we'll see. I'll definitely talk to you about.
Since you're doing multiple of those, are you going to 3D print all those, or are you going to mold and cast that? I'm
molding and casting some, but I've 3D printing like the small ones, and I'll mold and cast the middle ones. I have them outside actually drying with primer that have to be molded because there's so many. I need 20 for each spine down my back, and it's not like not an easy thing to print.
No, I can see that. Yeah, and the cleanup. It's just like nice thing about molding and casting a print.
It's like once you do it,
you clean it up once.
Yeah. Oh, and let me tell you. So speaking of,
and it comes down to that time, money management thing, and it's just like
you have to. It's like as an adult, it's important to start thinking about that more and more. Yeah. You know, it's just I think every penny that I spend on shop materials or time spent, if I'm spending like a whole day on something ridiculous, I have to really think it through, like why and how is this going to benefit anybody? What is this about? So, my other thing I've done is, so speaking of 3D printed, I 3D printed the skull for Garona, the Raptor Skull that Zach Fisher designed for me. Jill designed like the base, and then I went back and sculpted the spikes and then molded it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, can I just say, I'm not sure. You ever have those moments when you're just like, I'm not qualified to do this. I should never touch another crafting material ever. Well,
every time I build something.
This is like,
I kid you not. I'm just like,
I can't believe this. Well, you're going to die. So like, as you guys know, last year was like the year of mold making for me. I've made so many molds last year, and everyone gets better.
Yeah. And you learned a lot, right? You learned a lot.
Oh, I learned so much.
Many, many mistakes.
Many mistakes. I mean, and like, oh my gosh. And so like, I'm someone that needs a junk mold. I like the process of actually learning how to make the first mold in the shell. And so the second one's really good for reproduction. Well, my skull, the teeth in the front. I mean, you probably already know what I'm going to say. The teeth in the front were hollow behind the teeth. Well, I locked the mold in the teeth.
Oh.
Some teeth were like hollow but did touch. Yeah. Like they were hollow behind and then they touched to each other like this, like side by side. So it locked the silicone behind the teeth.
Oh, that sucks.
And I took a picture of it, and I'll post because I don't mind sharing my fails. Because,
were you able to salvage it?
Well, what I did do, so like, I can't believe this worked. This is so jerry rig, y'all. So I take a X-Acto blade and I cut his smile out, essentially. Yeah. And I clay up behind the teeth, so just like very little behind the teeth. So it still kept like the round, nice little bit. And maybe I could pop it out with a Dremel tool or like a pick. I bought these sideways sanding pick things that are like incredible. I'll show you. And they're actually right here before I move on from that.
I've never heard of it. A sideways sanding pick.
I'll show you. They look like this.
Oh, so they're like a needle file, but they have shape to them.
Yeah, they have shape, and I bought another thicker set. I have so many of these. I just wanted to try. I use a lot of
those look awesome. Yeah, I use needle files all the time, but I never realized they had like ones that have angles.
And some of the angles, like the ones I have inside, are next level good. And nice. They're cheap, and they were in my recommended. Like, thank you, Amazon, for recommending for once, something really good. So I use an X-Acto blade and cut the mouth out because I was not about to scrap all that rebound and that whole coated, shell of silicone.
Yeah, that's a lot of material.
It sucks. And it's expensive. So I cut out the smile, clayed it off, and I made sure that the silicone, I cut it back so it was laying in every spot like as tightly as it could.
Yeah.
The silicone lip, and I rebounded it again, and it worked.
While it was still
yeah, it seamed it together. I was worried, it would have like some kind of like gap or like really ugly line where the silicone was cut and the new silicone was.
Yeah. But it
didn't.
It adhered okay.
It adhered okay. Wow. And then I made a mother mold, like the outer shell, out of fast set plaster bandages, which big upgrade from normal bandages. Thank you to oh my gosh, Walter. Walter Prime. Walter was wait, why am I saying Walter? Is that right? My brain.
I'm not sure.
Walter. That's right. Yeah, he was on Face Off. I'm like trying to put in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. His name's Walter
Prime is his username, but I'm like, wait, is that right? That sounds weird. But yeah, Walter. Thank you to him for the tip. He corrected me on the bandages. I needed extra fast setting. I did, and if you ever are building like a cheap mother mold, keep that in mind because I did the regular plaster set bandages, and it took like at least 72 hours for it to dry.
Yeah, even the fast set ones take a while.
It took I put it in front of the heater and it still took like 12 hours.
Yeah. I was going to say it's not like it's not like a 2-hour deal. It's like
at
least a half a day with the fast set.
Yeah, and it's and that worked. It's messy, and I hate that. I hate the dust and the mess. That I had my vacuum beside me, and I was like, I don't know. I just don't enjoy that. So it worked. I cast it out of Onyx and made the cast, or made the first cast, and it was fine. It came out okay.
Cool.
That's my story.
Well, that's cool. And then at least you didn't have to sacrifice all that other material too.
Yeah, I would have been really upset. So, and I used my drill to mix my silicone, which made everything better instead of mixing it by hand.
Yeah, that makes a really big difference when you're doing silicone.
Yeah.
To have a paddle, a drill paddle.
Yeah, makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's like those things, right? It's like you can do stuff without those things, but there's things that if you invest in a little bit more, it can just make things work better. So and faster too.
Mixing so much, your hand starts to cramp.
Oh yeah,
your
it's hand,
hard, man.
Unless you just want the workout, I guess.
But it's like a part of my body that I don't. It's like, dude, if I was working on my abs or my butt, maybe I could mix it with my abs. You're like, do that.
Wow.
I don't want to have just the beefiest forearms, no.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. I have Onyx stuck to my arm because there's never a day that I don't have something.
Yeah, I always end up with resin on my body somewhere if I'm using it.
Yeah, and I even have like a little scrubby that I shower with, and it's like on there pretty hardcore.
Yeah, well, the resins, I mean,
it'll stay.
They really stay.
Yeah,
they really stay a lot.
Oh gosh, so that was a fun thing. I almost messaged you with the thing and was like, Eric, help, and then I realized like, oh, that's what happened. It locked.
Yeah.
So it's but anyway, that was a fun thing to do. I gotta say, like, I'm just not somebody that enjoys a shell mold, a matrix mold, I guess is what it's technically called. Where you do the positive.
Well, matrix is a little different. So,
okay.
I mean, essentially you end up with a shell with a rubber layer on the inside, but the matrix you build the opposite direction, which is really interesting.
Oh, like Harrison did with his scroll?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He does quite a few matrix molds, so.
Yeah, well, his one of his helmets is listed as a matrix mold, but it's probably just like under a category then, because that's the guide I follow.
Yeah.
I followed, and it was his. If you guys are looking to make one, obviously Harrison always, he's great for the community.
Yeah,
in general.
that would be Volpin Props if you don't know who Harrison is.
Yeah, Volpin Props. Sorry, thank you.
That's okay.
Volpin Props has a great guide on that, on how to make like a multi-part mold, and you'll look at his and then be like,
well, I don't know. Maybe you did. Maybe you did a matrix mold. Did you do it? Did you use clay and?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so.
I mean, it was clay. Yeah.
Yeah, but did you build?
I didn't do what he did for the scroll, which was like the opposite. Where
you build the clay surround first.
Yes. No.
And then you go back. It takes twice. It's like twice as long as the other way.
But it makes such a pretty mold.
But it makes a really nice mold.
Yeah, that mold's beautiful. But
and they're set up really well for the great thing about matrix molds is that if you're doing a lot of pours, a lot of pulls, it makes it really easy to create the silicone jacket again.
That's a great point. That's a really good point.
That's like the biggest thing about from what I can tell.
Point.
So
that's a really good point.
It makes it super easy to redo your jacket, and it uses like hardly any silicone because the bulk of your mold is the outer shell.
Yeah.
And not the silicone inside. Whereas like a block mold takes a crap load of silicone, right?
A crap load. Yeah. And it's funny because I feel, and I don't want to offend anybody. This is just my personal experience. I feel like the amateur hour is a block mold just poured in a big old thing. And then like that level of Harrison's, he's so comfortable and he's been mold making for so long. Like he does that. And it's like, that's the advanced version.
Well,
for me,
I think
for me though, because for me, that's the harder part. That's harder.
It's true.
Easy for me
but it's really, and even Harrison will tell you this. It's like, cause he just did that other sword. I don't know if you saw that other sword he built, that really big sword that he used is it epoxy?
Epoxy coat, yeah. And then the expanding foam.
Yeah, yeah. And that was a big, huge block mold. And that was because it was time versus money versus whatever.
Right.
The thing with block...
just purely for skill, for me, I'm good with the box and then bad at the other spectrum.
Well, there is skill. I mean, doing a good box mold, there's skill in that too. So
right, but exactly. Definitely. And so I'm truly just saying in my case, I have done and practiced with the box, so I'm getting good at those, and I like those. I'm comfortable. They make me happy. I get good results, and then I get to like the 2-part or the matrix mold, or not matrix, the jacket, the ones with jackets. Yeah. And I'm furious, and I hate life, and I want to burn.
And I've actually never done it. I've only ever done block molds.
I wanted to block mold that dragon head. I'm thinking about it now for the final mold. I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this again, because everything I have that is the jacket with like the wing nuts, I have the wing nuts. I'll create like the trim, and my Farrah shoulder one came out. The second one came out okay. The helmet one is my best one so far, but it's so heavy. It's so heavy to mold with. Like,
yeah. Well,
I hate it.
my Wonder Woman sword, which I actually am going to be remolding like in the next week, because my first mold shot. It weighs like 15 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Because
it's a big, huge block of silicone. But one of the reasons why I haven't really veered into doing more matrix type molds and stuff is because Smooth On provides me with materials. So it's like
I only did that one because there was no other way for me to get it hollow, like in the inside.
Well, yeah, I mean, if there's different reasons for doing different types of molds too.
Like the helmet, I had to make the helmet that way because it was like the way you do it, and I just.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's no other way to do. I mean, you basically have to do a brush on for a helmet, because how else do you mold?
Yeah.
It, so.
But everything else that I can make in the box mold, I just love. It's just so I enjoy it so much. I just love those little molds. They're just so easy and fun, and I just like it. I like making little molds, but I don't like making big molds.
I like making molds. Molds are pretty fun.
Yeah.
So the more of them I do, it's one of those things. The better you get at it and stuff. One of these days I'll try a matrix mold, but I don't really care enough to try it yet.
See, that's my thing. Is like I'm gonna find my way that I like to do things most of the time. So it's like, unless I have to and there is no other way, I don't want to do something that I'm not gonna enjoy.
Yeah. Well, the other part of that too is, though, it's like, especially with like molding and stuff, because stuff is expensive. It's like do you take a risk and try something new that may work out, or do you go with the standby that you know that you've had results from that are going to get you what you want every time? If everything works out, there's always that possibility things don't work out, especially with molding and using silicones and stuff. But so for me, it's more like I'd rather not risk it, Yeah. Because because it's time and money, right? And what we were talking about earlier, you're like, I'm cutting out all these things because they cost me time. And that's like the one thing that every maker struggles with, right? It's like, how do you get extra time? There's only so much time.
And like like Jill, my new shopmate, she was talking about like how I have so many different things. And it's because I buy things to test. Yeah. And then I find like the best way and I share that information. And that's like, that's Patreon again, brings me back to the ability to buy things and test and to tell people like, this is what I like. Like I'm making another Playboy bunny suit. I don't know how to call it anything other than that. A corseted bunny suit. I've made 5 of my own pattern, but I bought Yaya Han's, Effie Sews from Simplicity, and then the on demand, like this really cute company, Hey So True or something. They were at Dragon Con. I bought all 3 of theirs in my size, and I'm going to compare them because I feel like there is this sizing problem with sewing. And that's like out of the prop maker world. The sewer, like the seamstresses have so much trouble getting patterns that fit you because armor patterns are so adjustable and sewing aren't. Yeah. They're not, you have to know how to adjust. So, but it's like buying things to test for the sake of testing. It gets really expensive and it's hard to get. You can find so many reviews out there that aren't unbiased. And I need unbiased reviews. I need that because I have bought so many things. I purchased so much junk. You know what? I should do a giveaway of stuff that like is just like
stuff that you did. Try this stuff that you decided that wasn't worth it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I have stuff
because you never know. It may work for somebody else.
And other people like it for different reasons.
Yeah,
and like I have this bounce stuff that is not my jam.
Yeah, and I've heard people talk about and love bounce. Yeah.
And it's really great for like stage props and stuff, but like it'll die in my shop and I should just do a giveaway of it.
Yeah, right.
Not a bad idea. But they like varnishes. I bought so many different varnishes and things and they're good, but it's like, I don't know. I have something that I use already that does the same thing. So
exactly. And again, it comes back to that. Do you go with the sure thing or do you spend all your time figuring all this other stuff and then realizing, the other stuff worked better anyway. So I think that's why, having people that do like a lot of YouTube comparisons and stuff are is helpful. And like
they're invaluable to me. I absolutely love, our sweet friend, Bill, who I just adore to death. I was watching his Chrome video. Yeah,
I haven't watched that one yet. I just saw it popped up like a couple past days.
I think I'm like 2 minutes in or 2 minutes 30. I'm at the part where he's doing the vacuum forming. So I'm like not that far in. Cool. But I watched it and because in the beginning he shows like the chrome of the YouTube thing and he shows his gun and that is not chrome. That's like not even remotely chrome. It's like he actually used the same paint that I have right here, which I weathered already, which is just all clad like on this. Yeah. And that's not chrome, but like I have
well, it depends on the all clad because all clad has chrome as well. So.
Oh, I have their chrome too. Yeah. Which he gets. That was just something. I don't know what color he actually sprayed on that gun. Did he say in the beginning?
I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
But I have the chrome of Spastics and the all clad I just bought to test. But my chrome is actually coming out. I mean, it comes out pretty good. My chrome that I used on the lightsaber.
Oh yeah. It's what's that? What brand's that?
That is wow. I touched it a lot, as you can see. It's the Dupla color one.
Oh, okay. So that's a spray can one.
A rattle can, and like I have to say, I'm just like Bill in the way that I went down that like rabbit hole of chrome testing.
My biggest problem with most of because those are enamels, is with enamel chromes, is they're soft and they don't ever seem to completely cure.
That's exactly. You literally just took it right out of my head, Eric. It's like we're the same person.
and have a hard like durable finish to them.
Yeah, so. You literally you need to keep that in heat. And you need to leave it untouched for 4 days, 5 days.
At least. And even then, it still might not ever, like, it's kind of like how house latex paint never really dries.
Yes.
Have you ever noticed that? It's made to never really.
I think it's because there's so much pigment in that to, like, make it reflective that it's like, if there's not enough, like, adhesion, the pigment always wants to move kind of thing.
That's one thing I like about the all clads is since they're lacquers, it's like you can touch it like 3 seconds after you spray it. I
love that. The results on like
but you have to clear coat it, and Other than the aqua gloss, I really haven't found a clear coat that doesn't dull it completely.
Well, I bought the Spastics, their chrome clear coat too, to test. I bought like, there's so much.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about the Spastics, but I've never used any of it.
But you know, the craziest thing is like some of them are already shiny without needing a clear coat. Like the candy series, like they are kind of their own clear coat. Is weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have you used their candy red?
Well, it depends. Are those a lacquer or are they acrylic or do you know what Spastics base is?
They're the same as, they're like an acrylic lacquer. It's like labeled as that.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. So like the same.
I didn't know you could have an acrylic lacquer.
Yeah. Oh, I actually have something else that's an acrylic lacquer. I have a clear coat. Like some are labeled. They'll say acrylic lacquer, enamel lacquer, water-based. I actually got into this because of the chrome. So those of you that follow me on social media saw that I did nail polish on my 3D print. Yeah. Because just for fun, really totally just for fun. And I use the buffing chrome powder, and it's like reflective. You can see your face in it, and it's incredible. The issue is it only works on a non-tack UV cure resin. But the other part is it also works on a water-based no tack top coat, which I just ordered and is arriving today. And then I found this like beauty guru that used this water-based varnish, like polyacrylic varnish, but not polyacrylic, like an acrylic varnish. Yeah. Because I tried polyacrylic already, and it worked the same way, and it buffs into it. So I have a little video of the way it works, but it's like you put it on and then you put the chrome on and you begin to buff, and it literally smooths in front of your eyes. Yeah. Who
makes that? What's that stuff?
Well, it's just like nail stuff.
Oh, like nail stuff. Oh, okay.
But not the varnish. The beauty guru that is using the house varnish is like $7 for a pint, and I have it bookmarked. I'll link it to you because I told Alicia about it, because if that works, then you can use a larger sponge, make a larger dense sponge like you do for makeup, and you can actually buff that chrome powder into a large surface. Which changes the game if it works. So I'm testing it though, because why not? I want to know if this works. I'm not really I don't really need it I don't have any reason to go on this big chrome hunt other than like, I already did it on my nails. Well,
that's a bit of the holy grail for prop makers though.
Yeah, and to me, I don't have a lot that is chrome, but I love my nails, and I love great chrome. Yeah, so I thought like this is something that hasn't been explored yet, and I thought I'm just gonna. It all came off of me posting the Christine at Simply No Logical, her video to Harrison. Yeah, and I just thought like this is kind of funny. Maybe I should do this. It works so well that I'm just gonna follow it through all the way. My
problem with all the paintable chromes, and other than that stuff, do you know who Gordon Tarpley is?
Yes. Okay. We talked about him, I think, with Ted.
Because he does like C3POs and stuff, and he did all the chroming stuff for Frank for Thingergy's Arthas.
Oh, I didn't realize that was chrome. I thought, it was shiny. So.
Yeah, that's a certain system, and it's mostly.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
that system's amazing, but it's really expensive. Other than that,
talk in our TED. If you guys just right here, I want to say before we move on, if you listen to our TED podcast, Evil Ted Smith, we talk about this a lot more too.
Yeah, and that system, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like it's hundreds of dollars, but it looks like legit chrome. Other than that system, for the consumer available stuff that is in the reasonable price range, even the ones that look really, really good, and this is my problem with paintable chromes, is they look really, really good until you hold them next to something that's really chromed. And then you're like,
if it gets or until it gets clear coated.
Yeah. And that's like my biggest problem is that there's tons of them that look really good until you compare it to the real thing. And like I said, other than that system that Gordon Tarpley uses, I don't know of any other chrome that you can hold it to a piece of something that's really chromed and it goes, oh yeah, there's no difference, Yeah. So that's my biggest complaint with it.
And so, like my only thing to say is like, if this paint situation is just overwhelming to you, just get chrome vinyl and contact cement it.
Yeah, chrome vinyl looks like really nice.
It looks great, and that's like it's going to look as good as your right behind kind of like mediocre chrome. It
probably doesn't hold up very well though, is my guess. Chrome vinyl.
It might hold up better than the chrome, like the chrome rattle can.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's probably just as soft.
Yeah, it's like hard to. I mean, it's interesting, but it's yeah. There's a hunt for that holy grail chrome. But for me, honestly, I just want a better gold. Mine is like I cannot find a mirror gold. That's what I'd want.
Well, so you want like a chrome gold then?
A chrome gold, yeah. And so I bought every single version of gold that I had that like I could get with the spray lacquer.
Oh, is that why you were asking me about my the gold I used on the nutcracker? Yeah, but that's not it's not a mirror. It's not a chrome gold. It's just I actually love that gold though.
I know, but like that's with gold. But I want like it's not the one I'm looking for. So
yeah, you want the mirror finish gold, and there's probably some out there, but I've never.
Well, I have them all to try. I've
never delved into that whole thing too.
Yeah. So I'm going the other way. Everybody's going chrome. I'm going gold. So I'm gonna look. I'm gonna try it. I don't care. But the candy, I will say, excellent candy. If you want any kind of like amazing finish with instant results, get an all clad candy top. Get a candy coat because they're just like next level. The yellow, the red.
Oh, for the really shiny, like almost metallic chromy colors.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah,
so I have no
complaints
on those.
I do like the all clads quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, my only complaint with all clads is since they're lacquers. This is true for anything, but you really have to have a great base coat.
Oh, yes.
So you cannot say, because like if you're using enamels, they're thicker, and maybe if there's some imperfections, you hit it with a couple of things of enamel, those imperfections kind of get filled in. Yeah, lacquers don't work that way because they're so thin. It's like whatever is on your piece usually you need to prep it with like an enamel anyway. I always gloss coat black my stuff first before I go lacquer over any of the shiny lacquers. And whatever's in that main, that base coat, if it's there, you're going to see it when you hit it with the lacquer. In fact, you might even see more imperfections because the lacquer's because like when something's black, it's like you don't notice stuff as much, and then you hit it with like a chrome or a silver or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that was there.
Oh, that's the worst. And then it's like that decision of you're so far, do you want to strip it back down? I hate that. I always end up doing that and then taking more time.
Yeah. Yeah, it really, 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 if you're doing especially shiny, clean finishes, patience is always the virtue.
Yeah, and in the last month, I feel like the last month of like personal projects, like working on the underlight angler and the metal parts and that, I have really taken my time and made sure that it's all sanded well because I want when I go to paint, I want to be done.
Yeah, same
so
here.
I'm enjoying like taking the time to get those things right, but it's yeah.
But you know what? Even though I've learned that lesson over and over and over again, even just this last project, which was the nutcracker I did, which had all shiny surfaces, I ended up redoing the paint on that 3 times.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, Eric.
Because I was trying to rush it and it didn't work and I kept screwing it up. Fortunately, it was a small piece, right? It was a small, for a nutcracker, it's a good size, like 16 inches, but overall, it's not like stripping down a huge 48-inch gun or something and redoing all that. So it was fairly quick to fix, but yeah, 3 times paint job on that. So So that's for all those out there that are thinking, paint, and painting is still, it's weird because I love the results of painting and I kind of like the process of it, but I hate doing it because I generally if I'm going to screw something up, it's going to be in the paint.
One thing I've changed about my painting is I paint with gloves on, and I never used to do that. And
I always paint with gloves on.
I never used to because my Nana's an artist, and she would just like lick and adjust the paint. But when you're painting with like lacquers and stuff, you're not doing that. So I always paint with gloves now, and it that one small thing has like made me a cleaner, better painter. Yeah, I don't know why.
You go through a ton of gloves, but it's totally
that's okay though. I have so many gloves. It's definitely a thing. I have so many things that are at the stage of painting right now that are ready for paint. Like, when am I going to paint them? I don't know. There's a chest piece. There's Alex Straza horns. There's this underlight angler has to be finished painted. There's a Widowmaker leg. There is, what else is there? I don't even know. There's too many things, Eric.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way.
You have to get in the mood to paint. You have to be in the mood.
And I just got this awesome. I showed this off on Instagram Live, but this awesome Rat King
Oh, I saw it. Yeah, I was like, dude.
You don't know if you can see it because the lighting is.
For that?
Look at that. Oh, it's so gorgeous.
It's Sorenzo props, right?
Yeah, this is Sorenzo's kit for it. You know, speaking of the top, this is supposed to be like chromey.
I know, I saw his.
Anyway, so that's a kit that I need to finish, and I still have Mr. Sir Bots-a-Lot from, well, here's his other arm. It doesn't stay on. One of Bill's little dude, Sir Bots-a-Lot. I've had this for almost 2 years.
That reminds me. I'm going to buy one of our friends. I still need to paint that. And I'm going to give that away on Patreon. I love ideas like that, like things to give away. I give away to my patrons.
Yeah. Ted does that Ted's been doing that quite a bit. He'll take He'll take a kit and finish it up and do that.
Yeah. So. Well, my Zenyatta ball, the second one I printed, that's a giveaway. I printed it just for a giveaway because, well, here's the thing. So, like, as you guys know, I did the electronics, like, in my little Zenyatta ball, and I came across a lot of like issues along the way. My NeoPixels. If you guys haven't used NeoPixels, so everybody that's listening, I'm sure follows Kamui and saw that she just used the NeoPixel strips for her Monster Hunter swords. Have you seen the Monster Hunter?
Oh yeah, so, I just posted those on Properly Created.
I love her work. She by
the way, check out Properly Created if you want to see cool prop stuff. I don't think I've talked about it on the show before, but
I don't think you have either. Actually,
Instagram account. It's just an account I started to show off prop work, so people that are making stuff that are prop related get their stuff out there. So
it's a really good way to connect and find new people that maybe you hadn't found yet either.
Yeah.
And so she posted she was using a Bluetooth device from her, it's a Bluetooth module that you can put inside.
Yeah, you know what's funny is the day she posted that, I actually went down a rabbit hole and was researching those.
Well, I actually did that the week Christmas week. I'd already done that. So
really?
I built my little robot, and like this app right here is called Ella Google Tool. Is the name of the app. So I used a little wireless module. So like that's my remote for my and you can see it in my little robot video.
Is that the one from Adafruit or is that a different one?
Well, the little module you can get anywhere, but this one's from like AliExpress.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's on top of that little robot that I put together. That was a kit. Yeah. The robot itself was a kit. So the little Bluetooth module was put into the board, and then you just connect it with your phone, and then you create your own. You have to create this. It's all white normally. So on the Bluetooth actual app.
Then you can kind of add the modules and stuff.
Yeah, you configure that so you connect with it, and so like I could control the robot car with this, which is really nice. And I saw that, and it was really cool to see somebody else doing it for cosplay. Like I literally like it was like two cool things going on at the same time, and hers was just like so much cooler because it was like applicable to a prop, and I was like, a prop? Like yes, I want to control it with my phone, but the kit taught me that. So it's like now that I know how to do it. I love that idea. Like I love the idea of having it controlled by your phone. Like then you could have your handler or somebody with you also control things. So instead of just a remote control. So that was a really fun project that I did over the holidays. And then to see, it's like the next step to see her take it like that. I'm like, oh, I want to take this to the next level. And the nice thing about the Bluetooth module is it's not soldered in. It's just put in with like a JST switch. Little pin switch thing, so I'm just going to yank it out of the robot and put it into something else.
Oh, that's nice. Because I think the one she used was the blue. Adafruit has these boards that are called Blue Fruit, and then the Bluetooth module is like part of the board itself.
Yeah,
and then you just download their app and you can. And the reason I was researching, I'm going to move my camera here for a minute. Is if you look, let's see, can you see that Master Chief helmet up there? So I got that. I got that for my Secret Santa prop maker exchange this year.
That's so cool. I'm so sad I missed out. When I saw everybody going through, I was like, why have I missed out on this again? I am not missing this year. I'm signing up for every freaking site. I would have like sent my Zenyatta. Like how cool would it have been to give somebody the Zenyatta ball as a gift?
Yeah, that'd have been awesome.
I wanted to do something like that. So now I'll have to give it to him this year.
So I'm not really going to announce this one or anything other than talk about it just a little bit. But so I have that cool, like, it's like the OG Master Chief helmet, right? And I'm not super into Halo. I mean, it's like Halo is one of the few video games I've played like all the way through. So way back in the day before it was ever online and you had a single player campaign. But I was thinking it'd be really cool to chrome that thing out and throw some Daft Punk lights in the visor and just have a cool thing like that. Right. Yeah, and so that's why I was researching the lighting stuff. Cause it's like, I want to do like this Daft Punk thing. how do I make this? How do I make this light stuff? And then I saw the Adafruit stuff because Adafruit has like a tutorial on a Daft Punk helmet that somebody made that they have like builds posted sometimes or whatever.
So many amazing tutorials.
They do.
Like next level.
Yeah.
Like,
and then so I saw that thing and then like literally the same day Kamui posted a thing about her using the app, and I was like, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, it's like it's like everybody was converging on the same point somehow. It's so funny. I spent my whole holiday season, like I have so many, I actually bought little cubby things and I've organized my electronics finally, because one thing that I did throughout the year was buy a lot of things and have all these project ideas and then set them off to the side. Like, who else does that? Nobody does that, right, guys?
So that's yet another resin thing that I need to work on.
Yes, exactly. But that, to me, I said this to Matt the other day, one of the most rewarding things for me over this little like holiday season break has been doing things with electronics. I find that the most rewarding. I enjoy it the most. Like I don't know. I just love it. The NeoPixels were such a fun thing to put into that ball, and learning the code, which was amazing, because just FYI, if you buy NeoPixels, they do not work without, they must have a board, and they also must have, they have like drivers built in, but they must have like a board. They must be controlled. They're programmable, and they are not plug and play. You cannot plug them in, and lights do not turn on. They don't work like that.
Yeah, it needs a controller that interfaces to it first. Yeah.
So you have to have a board. So the board is the controller, and then there's drivers within the little rings. And I ordered so many of them. I got my ones from Adafruit, and then I ended up also buying some off eBay because they were a lot cheaper, and they fit the guy that made the model. He had them, all of the connections were in one section, whereas Adafruits are all like a triangle. They're all across. So it didn't fit into the ball with the Adafruit ones. And obviously ordering off eBay, there's ups, I'm not sponsored by Adafruit, but I will say that they fix things, that you can return them. They walk you through. You have more of like a warranty if you buy something with them. Yeah. Even with, and they are like $9 each. Buying with eBay, you're just getting them. If they don't come out great, if they're dead on arrival, they're dead on arrival. You may get them returned, you may not. So keep that in mind. But I will say that the coating on them was a little trickier, a little more lengthy than I thought. It took me about 6 hours only because I took basic programming in college, and this was not the same language, and I made a couple little like rookie mistakes. And when you go to check your code, like you push like verify, like you would run with any other kind of program that checks a code, it would say it was fine, but it was fine. The code was fine, but it wasn't applicable to what I had in my hands needing to work. So once I made like the few small brain connections and was like, oh, why don't you remember how to do this? Like, then I figured it out, and everything is a learning process. So if you can just push through the frustration and take a step back sometimes and then realize you just made a simple mistake, it's user friendly in that regard. Once you like have been exposed to the code one time, it's not hard. But I will say that there are a lot of things that come into play with like the sensitivity of the NeoPixels, like making sure that you plug them in the right order, like ground, data, power, and you're grounded. I even went and bought a grounding bracelet to like hook into something, because they're very. In the winter, there was so much static electricity in my house that I was really nervous about shorting them out. I think I may have shorted one out because there's one that's like, I think it's dead on the first pixel, which sucks. But I bought like 12 of them, so I have so many. So
is the orb done?
The orb is pretty much done. One thing that's left is I had to order I ordered my own switch, a little itty bitty like 68-cent switch, and I didn't realize that he actually made it so that the little switch he ordered, it fits so perfectly onto the cap, the 3D printed cap, and it fits so perfectly into the carriage that holds everything in the inside that it was like this flawless on and off situation. So I took it apart and I waited and I ordered his, and I did solder it. It's in the house. It's all working. When this is finished, I want to take a picture of the way that he designed this, because I've never seen anything so mechanically flawless. Yeah. It'll blow your mind.
So this is another guy that was making stuff specifically for that model or something, or?
Yeah. So Daniel_W, I tipped him on Thingiverse, and I actually put his username on my post because this guy just deserves a big pat on the back.
Well, is he the one that did the whole model?
He did the whole model, and he came up with the engineering as well, but he didn't have any information on the engineering. Oh. So I was like, he just had links to to what he bought. So I just straight up was like, I'm gonna buy this and try it. And I bought all the parts, and then I printed it and I got it all ready. And then I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought. And it was just because like soldering the itty bitty little like light poly backpack onto the little like 3-volt trinket. It was like the frustration level of soldering a little bitty board before I had. Oh,
it's like, do you have a breadboard for all that too and all that?
Yeah, but before I got this, thank you freaking Bill Duran for posting.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This little octopus thing is heaven. I had helping hands on that I've always used. Nothing.
But that's like, was that six armed helping hand?
6 armed helping hands, and it is so incredible for holding circuit boards, NeoPixels, everything.
Where'd you get that? Was that Amazon?
Amazon, yeah. And it's pricey, and I couldn't find a cheap knockoff, so it's like $36. But
the totally worth it.
Life, holding the boards were really hard to solder, just because it's tricky. You got to just be gentle and take your time, be careful. But once I got that all done, it was he designed like this carriage inside of the ball that everything goes into. It's so incredible, and I messaged him and I was like, hey, like what? I asked him about, it also has inductive, wireless charging. So I got to that part and I couldn't figure out where he had it. I couldn't make it all fit.
Yeah.
Like in the ball. Cause it's like it's another circuit board as well. And I was like, where's this go? And so I messaged him and he posted actually on the model now. The photos are there for everybody to see. He posted all the photos so you can see exactly how it's wired. He even included his code.
Nice.
And I was like, dude, like above and beyond. Cause I messaged him and I tipped him and then messaged him. So I was like, hey, time is... Sorry. Well, I didn't. I like. You don't like to bother people sometimes, so I was like, I want to tip.
No, I got
because
you.
Time is money, and just for your help.
You're like, hey, well, my words mean something. There's,
exactly.
So so is that used like Qi charging or something, or?
It has like, so it's like a little copper coil thing that like plugs into like a 9-volt battery, and like the copper coil goes on one 9-volt battery.
Yeah, like the Qi, I got you.
What's it called? What is it?
It's spelled QI. That's like the most common standard, but it's pronounced Qi.
Oh, Qi. Oh, weird. I didn't know that. I know
the new iPhones have it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, dude. Somebody said that to me because Adafruit just has it listed as like, the inductive wireless charging.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably are using the Qi standard. So it's become the standard thing.
Yeah, because when I was telling my grandpa about it, he's like, yeah, my phone, he has the new iPhone 10, I guess, and it does that.
Yeah, I mean all the other phones that use inductive, well, they call it wireless charging, but
wireless charging, and
that's kind of stupid because there's still something plugged in.
There's still something it's plugged into things. But
I will say,
two things are plugged in.
I have the iPhone 10 as well, and having that the Qi charging is amazing. I love it, and you can buy. I have like 5 of the little charging pads with the circuit board that you can get off Amazon. They're like $3 a piece. So you can make anything and just stick it in there and you have wireless charge.
Yeah, see, and like that to me, I like everything I make now that has, I like want to make that a thing. I had such a great experience creating that, and I really like the idea of having the wireless charging. Yeah. And so it was so cheap. I want to run with that and just make everything like that.
Yeah, I had never thought about doing it in props and stuff, but that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's so cool, and you can make a little stand and set it on it. It's just such a neat little concept. So that's been fun. And then my granddad over the holidays, another thing was
let me show you. I want to show you my Genki wireless charger.
Oh yeah, show me. I want to see.
Okay, you ready? Hold on, it's plugged in, so I got to get some cable length here. All right, so I 3D printed this stand. Right? It's a cool stand, but literally, that's the inductive charger right there, just taped to it.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it.
There we go. See that? Yeah, that's some engineering right there. And then the circuit board's just taped on the back, and then it's plugged in.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's
and the red lights when it's not doing anything, and then you put your phone on there and it turns blue, and when it's charging. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Mine
looks like that, except it doesn't have the cool mine's just so inside of that is the copper coil. Mine's just the exposed copper coil.
Yeah, but that coil setup with the circuit board on it, they're literally $3 a piece on Amazon. So
yeah, it's so amazing.
I had designs like I want to design a case for like my car that fits. I don't like all the options they have out there. It's like they either go to your vent or they go somewhere else, and I want a Qi charger that specifically fits my phone to a specific spot in my car. And so I want to 3D design it and print it and make it all work. I just haven't done it yet because I really suck at 3D modeling.
Oh, well, that's something that like because Jill's here, it's like I don't have any desire to even get into it.
Oh yeah.
But speaking, if you are interested in the wireless charging, I've been taking photos of my entire Zenyatta build, and I'm posting that on my Patreon. They'll get it first,
cool.
And then eventually I'll share that with the public too. But
awesome.
I think that is something that for me, I like the basic idea of things, and then once it's out there in the world, it's crazy to see like what other people do with it, because it's like my idea is always so basic, and then somebody ends up with like the coolest thing ever.
Some cool way of doing things.
But yeah,
very cool. Well, hey, I think. What?
Oh wait, are we done?
Well, I was gonna. Is this a new topic or something on the same lines?
Well, it was just something that my granddad gave me.
What'd your granddad give you?
Well, he took apart his blood pressure machine, and I used a part from it and made something else.
What would you make? I want to see.
So, see, all my electronics are inside in a bag. I guess I could go get it. Well, no, we're podcasting. So this was his blood pressure machine, and it had a little tiny air pump in it, a little 6-volt air pump. So
really?
I took it apart and made a little fog machine.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's, you know, the little like the fish tank things are so loud.
Oh yeah. The fish tank things are really loud.
These blood pressure medical grade air pumps are silent.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And they're so strong. And so I was just like, I was sick and I was in my pajamas. So I just like sat at my computer table and like brought my electronics and a little light. And I took apart, I actually had a setup from the show, which didn't make it to TV, but on Cosplay Melee, I actually had a fog machine that was for my shield.
Yeah. And was that based on the same stuff that I did for Frostmourne, that same setup?
Except I used Valkyrie Studios as her key fob.
Yeah.
Like I just ordered the same key fob that she had. Or I don't know if you did too. Did you?
Yeah, I used the.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's like the like a typical RF one, like for garage.
Yeah, it's an RF. Yeah, it's an RF.
Yeah, so I did that and
only works sort of good. I wasn't too impressed with it.
And I've recently tried a new controller that looks like one for like a car CD system or something. Yeah. And I tried that with this. Oh my gosh, this infrared connection. It was so freaking bad. Yeah,
infrared's, well, it has to be line of sight. So if it
was terrible line of sight. Like the design was so bad. I was like, this is the worst thing ever. Like I would have to be like, I actually recorded myself. I have to be like above it, like this, like standing high above it.
Yeah, it has to be like in direct alignment with the sensor.
Yeah.
So
in research, is so good.
I was gonna say, in researching like the Bluetooth lighting stuff, there's got to be like switches too, right, for on off and stuff.
Yeah. So I actually.
Do you see what I'm saying?
The Bluetooth module that I use on that is used the same way. It can go also to the like fog machine thing. Exactly.
So it can be used as a switch and not just like change. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So I didn't realize switch. I didn't realize there was Bluetooth options available, but that kind of changes the game a little bit because
it does. It's so amazing. Like it's that was my whole thing. Is like last year I didn't get a lot of time to experiment, so I would just like watch videos and listen, then I'd buy.
Yeah.
And then I'd never make it myself. And to me, it's like I wanted to actually explore it. So I just spent I spent a week just doing electronic stuff. So that vape pen was so fun. I took apart my one from the show that didn't make it on TV. And I took the little air pump out and then I put the medical one in. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So Wayne's Workshop, if you guys don't follow Wayne's Workshop, you must follow Wayne's Workshop. Best creative human I've found in like the last few months. Like I just love this guy. He's amazing. He is the guy that made the like Iron Man machine with the thrusters that the fog comes out of his hands.
Yeah.
And it's with the sub-ohm tanks, and he has the best guides. And as Pop gave me that medical grade pump, I am Googling and watching Wayne's videos. Guess what he used in his video? A medical grade pump. His granddad clearly didn't take it out of his.
Yeah, no, that's good to know those exist though, because that was probably my only disappointment of the way that fog machine tutorial and stuff was that those fish tank pumps are so loud.
Me too. I was like, I don't want to walk around a con like this.
But I will say, spending a whole day with Vert Vixen with the sword at BlizzCon a couple years ago, it doesn't really matter when you're in the middle of a crowd at a con.
No, it doesn't. But like,
it wasn't noticeable because it's so loud at a con anyway,
Yeah.
So there is that, but just having a prop there and showing it off to a couple of people like in a room and you turn it on, it just seems super loud. You're like, I know, what are you going to do? But having it at a con, not that big of a deal. And
the medical grade ones are really powerful. So like that's pretty good
that's cool. I'll have to look into those.
Yeah, they're cheap. You can get them on AliExpress too, because I ordered some more. Now that I tested that one, I ordered more because I was like, I want to see what I can make with all this stuff. Just because why not? You know,
you have to send me the information for those.
I will, yes, and because his links are actually on the Netherlands AliExpress, and they aren't. Like I clicked on, I was like, I can't buy this stuff. This isn't right.
Yeah.
And I messaged him, and I was like, man, I love your work. Like, where are you getting yours for so cheap? Because Pops, I'm not going to buy another blood pressure machine.
No.
And so he gave me the specs on his. So
cool.
yeah, but Wayne's Workshop, his the thrusters he made for that Iron Man, it's up to like 2.5 million views on Instagram. Like it went viral.
Wow.
And it's
Wayne's
so
Workshop,
cool.
huh? I don't think I've ever heard of Wayne's
You're gonna
Workshop.
love him. Him and his girlfriend or wife, like they like build stuff, and he makes some amazing videos. And I just think we should have him on the show. He's a wizard.
Totally.
He would absolutely come on the show. He's so I've chatted with him a lot lately about collabing, and
look at that. He follows me, but I don't follow him, so I just follow him.
Oh, you're gonna need to, because you're gonna love him.
There you go.
His video making
Dutch programmer.
Yeah, and his information, like the way he talks about things, I just enjoy him. He really breaks it down.
That Iron Man is sick.
Isn't it? It's like next level.
Oh my god.
I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, who is this human?
This guy, it blows me away when you find somebody that's like following you and you look at their work and they're like 100 times better than you.
Well, they're just different. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know, but I'm just looking at all this stuff. It's like, I would never make all that stuff and make it that well.
I love it. He truly is like he's an engineer. Like he's a cosplay engineer.
Yeah, this is awesome.
He's definitely, check out Wayne's Workshop because you won't be disappointed. But
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, that's the world of electronics that I've dabbled in. But if you are interested, Adafruit is definitely a good resource home to go to.
I don't know. If anybody from Adafruit listens to this podcast, we would love to work with you. So plug. Give
us a challenge. I actually, oddly enough, in this bag under here is Adafruit's 3D printed Lucio blaster, and I bought all the electronics for that too.
Yeah.
Because you do that. I bought so much from Adafruit. They send you extra stuff.
Nice.
They sent me a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's a perk if you do like buy in bulk or buy with a friend. You can get free shipping and then also extra goodies. So it's always cool to partner up.
Yeah. I would love to partner up with that. I mean, both of us partner with Smooth On. I'd love to get a partnership with Adafruit or somebody that can supply electronics. So that
could be really cool.
Anyway, throw that out there.
They could give us a challenge and then we could create it.
Sure. Why not?
I like that. I like a challenge.
Okay. I think this is a good place to end this episode.
Yeah. That sounds good.
That was fun.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. So we'll see you next time on Craft and Geek.
Bye.